Buenos días, mi querida familia de la iglesia. Good morning, my dear church family. Today, I would like to share with you about a mission trip that I went on in March of this year. We went to the mountain village of Rio Bonito. The picture shown was taken from the outskirts of Siguatepeque, or better known by the locals as Sigua. It is the city that I currently call home. Here you see the early morning lights as we are picking up volunteers for the day's activities. See that what we were doing is called a Brigada Medica, a medical brigade. And here you can see a list of the things that we offered. We offered general medical consultations by 3 medical doctors. We offered massage, nutritional counseling by a registered dietitian. We talked about the 8 natural remedies. We were able to do pap smears if needed, vaccinations, haircuts for the ladies, spiritual counseling, eye exams, and we also were checking blood pressure, pulse, and oxygen levels. 3 things that were not noted on this slide is that we were also giving away free medicine, clothing, and food. So that you can visualize the location of Honduras, here's a map showing a portion of Central America with Guatemala and El Salvador to the west, Nicaragua to the south, the Caribbean to the north, and the Pacific Ocean to the southwest. Siguatepeque is known as the heart of Honduras, due in part to its approximate central location and also being halfway between the country's 2 largest cities, San Pedro Sula and Tegucigalpa, which is the capital. Here in this map, you see Siguatepeque in the white area in the lower right part, where the heart and the red dot are at. The blue dot in the center of the screen is Rio Bonito, our destination, and the distance between the two is 18 miles by the road that we took, which is basically a straight line on the map. Now I have a question for you. How long do you think it took us to drive that 18 miles? Well, I cannot hear your responses, but I am sure that someone got it correct. Yes, it took about 1.5 hours. Now you do the math. Here is our first view of the community of Rio Bonito. It's where we are going to hold our medical brigade. The gray building on the right is the community center where we held most of our activities. The mustard colored building on the left is the community health center, and in there our eye doctor did his examinations. Even though they have a health center building, they only see a doctor here every 2 or 3 months if they are blessed. At this point, I'm going to show a video that the photographer who went with the team took. And when it finishes, I have a few more pictures and then I will wrap it up.
Al pecado y toda influencia mundana, pues el mal se extiende y muchos hoy perecen sin paz, sin gozo y sin salvación. El Señor nos llama a predicar un mensaje de esperanza hay que llevar, como fuertes soldados, entrenados y enfocados, proclamando que en Cristo hay redención. Usa mis manos, Jesús, dones, fuerzas y juventud. Vamos a avanzar donde tú nos mandes, Señor. Vamos a enseñar tu ley, tus palabras de amor. Vamos a vivir cada día enfocados en Jesús. Usa mis manos, Jesús, usa mis manos, dones, fuerzas y juventud. Usa mi juventud. Vamos a avanzar donde tú nos mandes, Señor. Vamos a enseñar tu ley, tus palabras de amor. Vamos a vivir cada día enfocados en Jesús, enfocados en Jesús, enfocados en Jesús. Pues el mal se extiende y muchos hoy perecen, sin paz, sin gozo y sin salvación. El Señor hoy nos llama a predicar un mensaje de esperanza hay que llevar, como fuertes soldados, entrenados y enfocados, proclamando que en Cristo hay redención. Usa mis manos, Jesús, dones, fuerzas y juventud. Vamos a avanzar donde tú nos mandes, Señor. Vamos a enseñar tu ley, tus palabras de amor. Vamos a vivir cada día.
This is the group of volunteers that day, which numbered around 35. It is composed of doctors and nurses, pastors, teachers, mechanics, people that are retired, people that are still working. It also has students at the university and high school levels. Everybody has a place where they can work in this medical team. At the end of 7 hours on our feet nonstop, eating a bite of lunch on the fly, the volunteers are exhausted. Here you see 3 of them relaxing before tearing everything down, stowing it away in the pickups, and heading back down the mountain. The results of this day? We were able to help over 200 patients. Of those, we had 47 persons request spiritual follow-up. That could be Bible studies, a home visit for prayer, and maybe even further spiritual counseling. We already had a pastor and lay team in place to handle these requests. It is our prayer and dream to plant a Seventh-day Adventist church in this community, as it is in all the communities that we do medical brigades in. So please pray with us to that end. If you would like to know more about what we do, how we do it, and what the needs are of these communities where we minister, as well as the needs of the team, please contact me at the number on the screen. I will be happy to talk with you and to provide you with the names and numbers of the two doctors who have the vision and the leadership for what we are doing. And they can answer your questions much better than I. By the way, they are fully bilingual. We have a dream of doing one medical brigade per month. However, the bottleneck is funding, as we are self-funded by the volunteers ourselves. Some of us are retired, some working, and others are students at the university or high school. Understanding the wage levels here in Honduras might help you understand the challenge that presents. The average monthly wage here is around US $250, with teachers making slightly more at about $400 per month. We, the team, buy and provide free of charge all the food, prescription jugs, etc. This truly is a labor of love. The team works with the leadership of the local conferences and the Union of Seventh-day Adventists in choosing communities that they would like to see a church planted in. The commitment to medical brigades, evangelism, and church planting is shown in part by the fact that at our last brigade a couple of weeks ago, the Union Conference president provided spiritual counseling all day long, right next to us, shoulder to shoulder. So please pray for the teams, pray for the people in the communities that we serve, that their hearts will be softened and they will be attracted to our lovely Savior, and that the good news may permeate these mountain villages. Thank you so much for your time today.